Well, welcome back. It's fast and furious here at the Missouri Valley Conference Media Day, downtown St. Louis. Harry Schrader with you, the head coach of the Belmont Bruins. Casey Alexander, first year in the Missouri Valley Conference. Well, we've known each other. I've been paying attention to the OVC for a little bit. Uh, First things first, just how excited are you about Belmont being in the Missouri Valley Conference?
Extremely excited. Just driving up yesterday, coming to St. Louis was new territory for us. New opponents, new leagues, new cities, new everything. It's an exciting time for Belmont. Great anticipation for, not just the season that's in front of us, but just being a part of a great league and seeing how we can contribute over the years.
I was thinking about this yesterday, or maybe it was this morning. Belmont is a school that just doesn't sit still. Meaning, even like in my limited view, I see, they move from NAIA up to, you guys keep advancing, and when I read then about other aspects of the university, it's the same. Just brag about Belmont a little bit.
Yeah, they really do mirror each other. I mean, Belmont's had record enrollment for 20 straight years. We've had cranes on our campus with new buildings for literally over 20 straight years. And so. The kind of the collision of athletics and the university as a whole and elevating significantly over that period of time has been really impressive, and it's a very healthy place. It's thriving in a time where not everybody is. Mm-hmm. And it's a big reason for us making this move that we're making here. I mean, it is the next logical step for us. It'll take more resources. We'll have to learn. A lot of development needed on our end, but Belmont is well prepared, and our program is as well, I believe.
When I think about basketball and think about losing Grayson and Luke and Nick, that's a big, opportunity, for you guys to approach. You've got good players coming back, but those guys just gave so much to the university the last 5-6 years.
Yeah, for sure. We graduate 5 fifth-year seniors, that all finished with their graduate degree. And, you mentioned Nick Musinski is a 4-time all-conference player. Grayson Murphy's a 3-time all-conference player and 2-time defensive player of the year. And so a lot of guys that started a lot of games, a lot of scoring, a lot of rebounding, a lot of steals, so we have a lot to replace. The timing for our team to join the Valley is less than ideal.
Might have been better last year.
Yeah, because we did lose quite a bit. But, we've built a culture of winning. We feel good about who we are and what our potential is, even with so many new faces. But I'd be lying if I said we didn't have more questions than we ordinarily do at this time of the year.
You guys have traditionally built with high school players, maybe even redshirted them, and then they stay forever, and that's just not the reality that we live in college football.
Yeah, it's very different, but it has been the key to our success. I mean, our retention level with our players has been off the charts over the last 20 years. We have had nothing but high school signees that have stayed. Probably 40 to 50% of those have redshirted during their time at Belmont. So we've stayed consistently old and experienced, and that model is being challenged. We're not going to change who we are, but we also have to be smart enough to adapt with the times and make changes when necessary. But we try to do something different than we have because it's worked very well. But we're not going to bury our head in the sand either.
So Ben over there is an outstanding defender, was your leading scorer a year ago. Obviously, as a bystander, you build around him a little bit this year, and just talk about what he's bringing to your team.
Yeah, for sure. And Ben's the model of development. We've said that many times. I mean, a guy that comes in and plays a good role as a freshman, but isn't required to do a lot, but makes a good contribution. He starts as a sophomore every game, and ends up having a really good season. And then as a junior, and emerges as our best defender. And then as a junior, leads us in scoring. We went into last preseason with 3 all-conference players, and Ben was not even one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So for him to emerge out of that group and lead us in scoring while maintaining his status as our best defender says a lot about him and his development. So he's a great foundation piece for us to build this new looking Belmont team on.
And so we go from, man, it's always freshmen, to now you're recruiting guys from other programs as well. Talk about just that adjustment in your recruiting, but some of the players that have come.
Yeah, well, we're not changing our model. I mean, we're still going to recruit high school players. We have 4 2023 commitments already. We're finished with that class. And so, again, we're not going to change that. But, when we lose people that we're unaccustomed to losing at the end of the season, then naturally, you're not going to replace veterans with freshmen in the spring. And so So yeah, we lost 2 guys, and we went to the portal and found 2 absolutely great additions to our team. Keyshawn Davidson, who we're extremely familiar with. We played him in his time at Tennessee Tech. I think he started 99 games, maybe over 3 years, and played 30+ minutes a game, and is a really stabilizing force for us. And then Drew Freiberg, a Princeton graduate transfer. Very similar numbers. Those 2 guys, even though they're new to our team, they feel like they've been around for a long time, stepped right in beautifully, and will make great contributions.
You talk. I read somewhere that you said that the Princeton people practically helped recruit Drew into your team.
Yeah, I totally have to give them credit. Princeton has the Ivy League has the rule where you can't play as a graduate student, and so he knew he couldn't go back there. So to his staff's credit, they were trying to find the best fit for him, not just as a player but overall. And they could not have been more right. He has stepped in, and he looks like a Belmont guy, plays like a Belmont guy, acts like a Belmont guy. He's been tremendous, and so we're lucky that they contacted us, and we're lucky that it worked out the way that it did. I think it's been really a good match for both of us.
When I think about the Bruins in your program, and I've seen you guys play quite a bit, I just watch the offensive scheme. It's like watching poetry to me. Like I was at a game last year. You guys were playing somebody, and I turned to the guy next to me in press row, and I said, "Oh, they'll make a layup out of this timeout." And they said, "How do you know that?" I said, "Just watch." I mean, there's just stuff you have a system that you guys have really learned and know how to execute.
Yeah, it's who we are. I mean, it's kind of been, when people think about Belmont, they think about us on the offensive end, and I think for good reason. I mean, we are a high tempo team. We score a lot of points, and so we're fun to watch in that regard. But we've made more 3-pointers than any team in the country since we've been Division I. We've led the country in 2-point field goal percentage 5 out of the last 8 years. We've led the country in assists per game, I think 3 out of the last 5 years. So that end of the floor is kind of who we are. We recruit to that style, and like any offense, but sometimes it's a little tough to come by. And that's truthfully what's going to be different in the Valley. I mean, the Valley is a much more grinded out, physical, low tempo kind of game. And so we're not going to just walk in and be ourselves from start to finish. We're going to have to get better at half court. We're going to have to get better at slugfest. And even our game with Drake in Orlando last year is a good example of that. I mean, we ended up winning the game, but I mean, it was a dogfight from start to finish, a very physical game. And so it gave us a little taste of what we're in for.
Appreciate your time. I'm going to have Ben join us, and we'll just continue the conversation with the Belmont Bruins. Casey, thanks. We're going to clip that on him. There you go. Ben Shepard joins us, and appreciate your time today. You're here in St. Louis at the MVC Media Day. What's it like to just come to an event like this where a lot of media members and so forth are expecting a lot out of you?
Yeah, it's pretty cool. It's different than anything I've ever done. We didn't have this in OVC, so it's cool to see all the players and all the guys and just people that we're going to see later in the year. So it's exciting.
What's it like to make, I mean, you haven't played games yet, but to make that leap, we're in this league, now we're in a different league with maybe some higher expectations.
Yeah, once we heard we were coming to this conference last year, it was kind of like a breath of fresh air. New teams, new players, new locations that we're going to be traveling to. It's just something to be overly excited about, and we're all excited.
I was just talking to another player who's an outstanding defender. Defending is certainly about talent. It's certainly about preparation and understanding your defensive scheme, but it's a whole lot about effort, isn't it? Talk about being an elite defender.
Yeah, I go into every game with the dog mentality, trying to just outplay my opponent on that side of the ball, and I take pride in that, and I give all my effort on that side of the ball.
But you're expending so much energy on that end, and yet you led the team in scoring last year. Is that a product of just playing within that system and you finding the right shots, or did that come by design a little bit? I mean, it was weird, I thought, for you to be the leading scorer on that team with all those stars that were already on the team.
Entering the season, I didn't think it would turn out like that, but I found a flow mid-season, and I just get it started on defense, and then offense will take care of itself. So, yeah, I don't worry too much about offense, but it came last year. So,
talk to me about this guy.
I'm super excited to play with him. We're getting our chemistry better in the off season and through the summer, and I'm just so excited to play with him. He's a great player.
What was it like going against him?
It It was fun. Last year I had a big game against them, but yeah, it's always been fun competition against them.
So when I think about you guys launching into the Missouri Valley Conference, and maybe expectations are a little bit lower. Meaning, what I mean is, okay, it's a bigger league, so we have higher expectations. But man, you're up into a bigger, a better league potentially, and well, maybe people aren't expecting you to win 25 or 30 games.
Yeah, it's a lot different this year because no one knows like who we have. We've 8 new people, and we don't give any preseason rankings like any time of day. We're just gonna go out there every day and give our all. So we have a lot to prove, and I think this will be a good year.
Final question for you. Talk to me about Casey Alexander. Just what are the things that you appreciate about his coaching style?
I appreciate how he goes about every practice, every game with the same standard, keeps us all accountable, holds us all accountable, and yeah, just something that we can talk to about anything. He's a great coach, and I love stepping out between the lines for him. So
Appreciate it. I think they just stole your other teammate from me. You're going to bring him back? All right, good. So anyway, appreciate your time. Thank you so much. We're going to get Keyshawn Davidson here in just a second. And so I'll keep it right here. Listen, we'll still be talking with Drake coach Darren DeVries. We'll be talking it over with Murray State coach Steve Prohm as well. And I'm thinking, UIC coach Luke Yaklich will be with us as well. So we've got a number of the newer coaches and players coming our way still this afternoon. Here comes Keyshawn now. I'm going to snip that right on you. You transferred what would have been right within the same league, but then they left the league. Talk about just your decision to move after so many good years at Tech.
I just felt like it was time for me to find a new place, find a new home. I just felt like it was time. Yeah, that's now I was excited to look for a new program and see and find new opportunities for myself, and I landed at a great landing spot for me.
Terrific place, but you had like really outstanding seasons there at Tech, and so when I think about the Belmont program, and I think they land you right away, and I'm like, well, he just plugs right in. He'll be that. He's a Belmont kind of a player. Does that make sense? Like when I say that, do you think, oh yeah, I look at how they do it, and that's how I want to do it?
Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, every time I played them, I could just see myself fitting in, with how they play. They recruited me in high school, so I knew all the staff, Coach Bird. So I've been familiar with the program for a long time, and I just knew this is a great place for me to be. And when I got the opportunity, I couldn't turn it down. I was so excited.
I made Ben talk about you, talk about him, talk about his defensive prowess and what else he brings to the floor.
He brings a lot. He's an incredible player, but most importantly, an incredible person. He brings it every single day. He brings a lot of energy, and he just helps our team tremendously on both ends of the floor. He's going to have more of an offensive, load this year. But he's ready for it. He works hard on the defensive end. Y'all seen it. He's a very good defender. He brings everyday energy. He has our back. You know what I'm saying. So he's fun to play with, and I'm excited to be here with him.
Tell me about one player that maybe isn't on everybody's radar. He's really going to be a great Belmont player. Tell me one player that you're looking at, like in preseason workouts, and like, oop, he's better than I knew.
Jacoby Gillespie, he's going to be a really good player. He's a freshman this year, but he's seeing him. He has it. He's ready. I've been able to spend a lot of time with him, and help him out, and just getting him comfortable. That's going to be important. But I think he's a player that's going to be very good, and I can't wait to see what happens for him.
Before I let you go, so the years at Tech, you're new to the program, but a veteran guy. Do you feel like there's an important leadership role you need to play?
Yeah, for sure. I've had a lot of experiences. I played a lot of games since a freshman, so that was, that's a positive for me. I was able to gain a lot of experience and come into this wonderful program. Who's done tremendous things in the past. continue is going to continue to do tremendous things. And, they've welcomed me with open arms and kind of give me that responsibility. So it's been easy for me. And, that's what I like to do, lead people and help people, especially younger guys, new guys. Even I'm new, but it's just weird. I feel like I've been here for a long time because just the trust the coach staff has in me and how long I've knew them, it was just so easy for me. And, so, yeah, to answer your question, yeah, for sure.
Spectacular. Appreciate your time. That's our time with the Belmont players and coach. Alexander, appreciate your time. In just a few minutes, we'll be talking it over with the Drake head coach and others in a few minutes. You're watching ValleyHoopsInsider.com.